Should billionaires exist, or should there be a wealth cap?
I don't believe there should be any sort of wealth cap. We live in a capitalist society and I don't mind the capitalist society. I don't like the whole concept of what a capitalist society is becoming now in the modern world. I don't mess with modern capitalism.
In regards to what?
I feel like everyone should have the right to make as much money as possible and all that.
Okay.
But I believe that everybody, especially the ones that are making, the rich, have a responsibility to take care of the ones that don't have anything, only up to a point where they're able to meet the basic needs of survival. When I speak of that, I'm speaking specifically of people like homeless people. And there is a concept of that to an extent with Section 8. But Section 8 is not that, Section 8 is not
what
that
action,
strong.
Okay. What actions, though, do you say billionaires should do?
Not just billionaires, just people that are in general that are, in the
really wealthy, top
15% of...
Top 15%?
Top 15% of...
So, like the engineer who makes $180,000 a year?
180,000 in the top 15% nowadays? I don't think so.
I would say so.
Is it? Okay,
yeah. Because the top 1% is about 400,000.
400,000, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, top 15%, they have an obligatory, and obviously it's proportionate to how much you're making, to put in money that supports the people that, and I'm not talking about the people that are living paycheck to paycheck, no, because they still have the ability.
Like the homeless?
I'm talking about people that don't have the means for basics, don't have the means to have shelter, don't have the means to have a meal on the table every day.
I would argue that they're already doing that. Like, they're paying the vast majority of the taxes.
So why are there homeless people that exist?
Because some people don't want to work at all. Like, I've seen it firsthand. There are certain, no, I'm not saying everyone's like this, but the reason why homelessness will never be fully eradicated is because there are people who are on the streets, and they've been on the streets for several years, and all they do is do drugs and be on the street. And they deserve, even if because of their own actions, and a lot of the time it's not like that, but let's say sometimes it is, even if it's their own actions, they deserve the minority needs for survival because they're a human being, period. For sure. But what I'm saying is that I'm not talking about the people who are like in a little struggle right now. I mean, there are people who have been on the streets for years and just doing drugs on the streets. They get opportunities to like get out of that. They get given jobs, and then they're like, now I have to work. I was living for the past few years comfortably, not working, and now I have to work. Like, there are people who do not want to work at all. They don't want to be productive members of society. This is why, like... No, I don't know. You're telling me you go to downtown and you speak to some of the homeless people there. You're saying some of them have gotten opportunities to get out of the situation that they're in, and they willingly chose... That's exactly what I'm saying. I didn't go downtown and speak to them myself. That's ignorance. But that's the truth, though. That's exactly what it is. Ignorance, bro. That's not the truth. And even if it is, even let's say that is the truth, they still should have they still should have shelter. No matter what, they should still have the ability to have shelter. There should not be. You think in America, America's the only country where people, where how you're saying they had an opportunity to get out, but they didn't take it. You think only America there's lazy people that lack ambition? You think that only exists in America? Absolutely
no. Go off to, you go to the Middle East. Do you find homeless people there? No. Depends which country. I mean, most of them. The wealthy ones, no. And we live in this country where you have a good population of people in urban cities homeless, while they're spending billions of dollars to fight wars that have no influence for America. That's not even a debate. Okay, we both disagree with hundreds of millions being sent elsewhere. Billions. That's what I meant. Did I not say hundreds of billions? You said millions. Okay, my fault. Hundreds of billions. Yes, I know about that. But we're talking about here, like, let's say I make $5 million a year, and then there's someone who lives on the street here who is unwilling to work. If I give them a job making good money, they are unwilling to work. They only want to do drugs and sit there. They do not want help. They will absolutely refuse it. No matter how much help they get, they will stay on the street. You were saying productive members of society should still have to pay for them to have shelter? Not productive. Okay, yes. I mean, yeah, I do. I think Elon Musk, how much does Elon Musk have? $100 billion? Probably more. Like, whatever it is. I feel like Elon Musk has an obligation to, get some homeless people off the street. Yeah. What is he going to do with all that money? I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah, he worked for it, but at the same time, I mean... Okay, so, like,
morally, if you're that rich, I think you should be doing lots of things, right, to help people out who need the help. Absolutely. On top of that, I think he's the #1 taxpayer in this country already. But no, I 100% agree. He should be doing things. I don't know if I necessarily feel you should be obligated to. I think like morally, it's a moral thing. Legally, I don't think you should be forced to do that. The only thing I want to say though is we don't want to stifle progress. We don't want to like get to the point where like Elon, you can't have any more. If you make any more money, it's going straight to helping homeless people only.
I didn't say that.
I mean,
I never said that.
I'm not saying you're saying that, but there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, you to be fair, you said like there shouldn't be a cap. So that's
no,
good.
Hell no,
yeah.
Should not be
but there are people who believe there should be a cap. And then the problem with that is like right now, like he had what's it called, Tesla, and then he had SpaceX, and then he had X. You know, if he had Tesla and then he wasn't allowed to make any more money, then he wouldn't have not created SpaceX, which would have not been good for the productivity of society. He created jobs doing that.
Okay, look.
So we don't want to limit.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Here's
yes.
the thing. What I said. So look, I went in a forum with a lot of my boys, and I said modern day capitalism is just as evil as communism. Now listen. Why I said that. Number one, obviously, as I said yesterday, a lot of my beliefs come from my religion. My religion, we believe in capitalism. We believe everybody has the right to go and earn, and to earn as much money as possible. But we also believe that there's a concept of, everybody should have a right for basic survival needs no matter what. And all the money on top of that, capitalism, you go and fight for whatever. You know what I mean? Everything is on the table, go and fight for it. Communism, everybody gets the same equal amount. So there is no people on the bottom. My reason for saying modern day capitalism is very similar, or modern day capitalism is just as evil as communism, is with communism, at least there's no, people are just getting left behind. Even with a lack of ambition or lack of, proper whatever you're trying to make, there's no people left behind. That's my concept of why, that's my reasoning of why I think modern day capitalism is just as evil as communism. But if you do capitalism, you have practiced capitalism, the right way of capitalism, in my opinion, where there is a certain pool that is dedicated to everybody just for a basic need of survival. And it's not a big amount. This is a pool just for the basic needs. Just enough to where you can live and have one meal a day, just for basic survival. The rest of the money out there, everybody should have the right to fight for and earn as much as you can. And there should be no cap on how much money you should make.
Okay, so do you believe that like if I wanted to, I should be able to like not work at all and I get like just basic housing and like basic food given to me by the government?
Yeah, I would say so.
Where is that money gonna come from?
I just said it comes from there should be a pool.
No, but like where does the pool come from then?
I mean, I guess this day we call it taxes, so it would probably come from taxes. I mean,
from more income taxes, like where?
I think reasonably spread out proportionally amongst people that are comfortable living. And I feel like everybody should pay taxes, but it should all be proportionate. Shouldn't be just the rich paying a whole lot more and or everybody paying the same, and where the rich are not even hurt by it. It should be something proportional, equal amongst,
which is what we have right now.
No, but
the more you make, the higher percent you pay in taxes.
But a lot of the taxes don't go to the homeless people that are living, that are suffering, the people that don't have the means to even have a meal a day, the people that live in homeless shelters. The predominant amount of that money is going for fighting wars and halfway across the world that has nothing to do with me, or fighting in wars that have nothing to do with the actual goodness in terms of morality, but only about what benefits America, or just money being used in stupid ways, healthcare.
Okay.
Where we don't even.
Okay. So I could agree with that. Those hundreds of billions of dollars could definitely be better used on American citizens in situations like that where people are struggling. The long-term effect, though, is if we made it possible to where everyone, you're guaranteed a house no matter what. You're guaranteed food. You're guaranteed.
I never said a house. I said shelter.
So an apartment.
Whatever, yeah, shelter.
Okay, if everyone's guaranteed comfortable shelter,
the basic needs of survival, just so where you can survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you're not suffering on a day-to-day basis.
I'm just to give a counter argument for the purpose of the video, right? Would that not encourage certain people to just not be motivated then? If you can be comfortable and do nothing, then why grind? That's, I feel like for a lot of people...
everybody's not a grinder, bro. At the end of the day, not everybody's a grinder.
I'm not talking about grinding to be like a millionaire, but I'm talking about everyone hustles to put food on the table for their parents. I mean, the vast majority of people are working at least full time.
Bro, my brother, what if this, not everybody has the means to do that. Special needs people.
You're talking...
No. Yeah, how about this?
We already have programs for that. If
no, we don't, bro. No, we don't.
You get a disability check.
No, you don't.
You don't get a disability check? If you are a disabled person, you get a check in the month, which is a whole nother thing.
That's not common. I mean, I've never heard that.
You've never heard about disability checks?
I know disability checks exist in Seattle. My family lives in Washington, but I've never seen any in Texas.
That's fine. We can talk about something else then if you're not aware about that. But right now, it already exists, and if anything, they need to crack down on it a little bit because there's a lot of people who fake disabilities to get it. But everyone with a disability, you get a disability check. It's not like a crap ton of money. I don't know exactly how much it is, but it's enough to like really help you out. So we already have that in progress. We already have that in place for disabled people. But I'm not talking about disabled.
So you think homeless people should exist?
Should exist?
Yeah.
No.
Period. Even if they have a lack of ambition and lack of ability to grind or lack of wanting to grind, like you were saying.
Well, I mean, in that case, sure. I mean,
they should exist.
I don't like. Let me say my opinion on that. Okay.
Bullshit.
I don't think homeless people should exist at all because we should be in a situation where everyone wants to put food on the table and wants to work and like live a productive life. And then if that was the case, we'd be able, because it'd be a lot more affordable for the country, to have a pool of money to help people who really get in that bad situation where they break their leg and they lose their job and that sort of thing. There's a massive strain on the country right now because a lot of people rely on it for money. And we can get into so many other things where like they're printing so much money and inflation's going up and they're making it harder for the average person. I am aware of that. Okay. But in a perfect world, I think homelessness should not exist. But in this world, in the realistic world where people are going to choose the easy life, going to choose to do fentanyl, then it's going to exist. And I mean, we can get into a whole other thing. There's certain places where like there's people getting paid $200,000 a year to fix homelessness in the city and like on the West Coast. So all of a sudden now they're incentivized to keep homelessness existing because now they get paid so much money to prevent it. And if all of a sudden homelessness was gone, that would be fixed. But in a perfect world, I think homelessness should not exist. But in a realistic world, I think we should make it to where everyone who wants to gets the opportunity. If there's a homeless person who wants to get out of that situation genuinely, they are given the resources from the government to get over their drug addiction, to help them find a job.
Sometimes
that should
it's
exist.
Damn near impossible for them because they're in such a bad condition because of the drugs, which is a whole nother story of itself. Sometimes they just don't have the mental capabilities to do that, and because of that, they should just suffer for the rest of their life or whatever even is left in their life.
Are you talking about someone who? You're talking about someone who's so cooked they can't take care of themselves? Is that what you're saying?
Like I'm talking about like drug-wise. Like you're saying, a lot of the people that you're talking about that have the opportunities to get jobs but still refuse to take the easy way out are people that are suffering, with horrible addiction.
Yeah, and they should be given like the free resources for free to get over those addictions. And we should also put in stuff in place.
It's not that simple.
Of course it's not that simple. Of course it's not that simple. It's a very complex situation. But like, I know we agree on that, right? They should have programs. I mean, and they do in some places, they don't in some places, but a lot of people will just refuse the help. You try to help them, they will hit you back. Even if you force them to go, they never wanted the help in the first place. So you lock them up for 90 days or whatever, they get cleaner, and then they come back on the street first day they're using again. Okay, like, it's unfortunate that this exists. I don't think there's no realistic way to 100% cure it, but people who want the help should get it for free. And everyone who's in a really horrible situation like that, who genuinely wants to turn their lives around, should be given that ability, whether that's a free education or help getting a job or that sort of thing.